Chris, what is our first main topic today?
First one is from Steve Calderon. Hi, John and crew. It's a great weekend for Tom Holland. When isn't it? He now has 2 movies in the top 3.
Dating Zendaya.
Winning.
He now has 2 movies in the top 3 box office, with Uncharted at number 1 and Spider-Man No Way Home at number 3. Uncharted opened much higher than what Sony was projecting. The movie also crossed 100 million globally. What are your thoughts on this weekend's box office?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in. And yeah, Uncharted. So we did a story last week about the fact that Sony was projecting somewhere around $30 million for the 4-day weekend. Whatever the number would be for the proper weekend, a little bit less than that, but they're projecting $30 million. And we said on this show, that's not enough. There'll be more than enough to be number 1 at the box office, but that is not enough for your opening weekend when you're a movie called Uncharted and your budget was $120 million. And we said, well, you know what, if they can exceed expectations and come in around 50, then they may be in business. If they can come in around 50. Well, guess what? They did. As we've got Uncharted doing much better at the box office than we thought that they were going to do, and much better than they thought they were going to do. This comes us from the folks at Coming Soon to write the following. After plenty of anticipation, Sony's big screen adaptation of the popular Naughty Dog video game Uncharted finally hit theaters and exceeded expectations. Early estimates.
Just because you boners didn't like it.
Early estimates saw Tom Holland, the Tom Holland Mark Wahlberg action adventure, opening somewhere in the mid $30 million range. But despite a slew of negative reviews from the critics, like Ray Ora, unlike Ray Ora, I should say, audiences welcomed the flick with open arms. The tune of $44 million over the 3-day weekend and $51 million over the 4-day holiday weekend per deadline. Comparatively, Sonic the Hedgehog earned $58 million in 2020, Pokemon Detective Pikachu earned $54 million in 2019, and Lara Croft Tomb Raider collected $47 million in 2001. Each of those films went on to gross over $100 million, which, aside from Pokemon, was enough to grant a sequel. And again, that comes to us from the good folks over at Coming Soon. This is a huge over the expectation level. Like when you're considering that they were thinking 4-day weekend, maybe 30, and this thing comes in at 51, a proper opening weekend of $44 million. This is great. It should be pointed out as well that that's not the only way Uncharted exceeded expectations. Because while I didn't like the film, I thought it had some things going for it, and I gave a big pros and cons list. I thought Tom Holland was very good. I thought the set pieces were great. I thought the action was well choreographed. Overall, I didn't like the film. Rob liked it a little bit less than me. Chris liked it exactly as much as Chris thought she was going to like it. and Ray looked at us all like we were crazy and stunned when we walked. I'll never forget the look on Ray's face. We all came out of theater, and Rob and I were talking to each other, and both said, yeah, that wasn't very good. And Ray was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Anyway, but guess what? A lot of the critics didn't like it either, but about 4 out of every 10 did. Right? So it's not like none of the critics liked it. Like 4 out of every 10 did. Well, here's another way it kind of overexceeded expectations. It may have gotten a 39% on the critic rating, but with over 1,000 verified ratings from people that Rotten Tomatoes verifies actually bought tickets and went to go see the movie, 9 out of every 10 liked it.
That's right, baby. We are the real people right here.
That's fair, right?
It's very fair. So it has scored a 90% audience rating. And I think this speaks volumes that the people, when they went to go see it, they enjoyed it. They had a good time with it. And I certainly think, well, I am not one of the people that like it overall. I'm not. I dislike it. I was disappointed with it. But there certainly are things in there to enjoy. And those things stood out more for a lot of the audience who went to go see it. More importantly, though, the thing far exceeded expectations at the box office. Now, if I bring up let me bring up here the Uncharted box office. I just want to bring this up here quick. Because not only did it do well for its opening weekend domestically, but internationally, worldwide, I should say, it's already almost made $140 million. which means it is on its way to breaking even and actually becoming a little bit profitable for their first film. And I'll tell you what, even though I was a little bit disappointed with the film, I thought the bones were there for something you could build upon and improve upon. And you remember, I was like that with Underworld. The first Underworld, I was like, but there was so much good stuff there that I was excited about a sequel, even though I wasn't a big fan of the first one. I kind of feel the same way about this. I think the bones are there. Tom Holland proves he can work in this role if you do it right. And I think the bones are there that you could have a franchise on your hand, and financially it looks like they're well on their way. Rob, I'm not going to lie to you. I was surprised on two different fronts here. I was surprised, number one, at how well it did at the box office, which I think even Sony was very surprised by that. But the people wanted to get out there and see it. And number two, I was surprised to see, I knew a bunch of people like Ray would enjoy it, but I didn't see that many people enjoying it. Rob, you're seeing both of these numbers. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I've been feeling guilty all weekend, and I want to take this opportunity to apologize, because after we got out of the movie, a viewer recognized us. And came over, very nice guy, and wanted to say hello, and I'm just ranting like, that thing sucked, I'm so disappointed. And he was probably like, boy, I don't ever want to talk to the Campea crew ever again.
He was sweet. We talked for like another 15 minutes after you guys left.
Oh, you did? So
yeah.
One of our viewers we ran into also liked the film. Yeah,
and he liked the film too, so I've been feeling like a dick all weekend. So just so you know, normally I'm amiable, like, hey, how's it going? Good to meet you. I was not that way. But no, here's the thing, John. While I didn't like the movie, I like it when movies succeed, because it's good for the industry. Absolutely. It's good for all the people that made the films. It's good for the studio. It's just good all the way around. And more importantly, I think it is the first PlayStation production.
Yes.
And in
PlayStation
their opening
Studios
logos, they had a lot of PlayStation characters like the God of our Kratos. They have Kratos. I want to see a God of War movie. So I'm hoping that, PlayStation, they see this as a win, and they're going to turn more of their properties into movies that are hopefully a little better than this. So there's a lot riding on this film for a lot of people, Tom Holland's career as well. So I am happy to see this movie succeed. And I'm happy people like it.
Yeah,
it's
we always want people to like it. I mean, you build on top of that too. Now they got Last of Us coming, although that's been delayed, but it's on its way. It's in production. Yeah. They're shooting right now in Canada. Now, look, I like I said, last week I gave a big list of all the pros about the movie and all the cons.
Yeah.
If they do end up getting a sequel, they have to address the cons.
Yes.
Like their treasure hunting map following stuff was a joke. It was absolutely a joke. They've got to get a better writer to interconnect, make it flow and feel like a movie instead of just a random collection of scenes. But if they can do that, then the pros that I listed of Tom Holland working, of the set pieces feeling grand and fun, and the action sequence, if they can fix those cons, and that's a big if, but if they can have something very special on their hands. And I hope they took those lessons into what they're doing with The Last of Us. I'd love to see a God of War thing as well.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. A friend of mine, I was talking with a friend of mine going, nobody would make keys out of gold. Gold is the softest metal. You'd put those things and they would bend and twist. And I'm like, that's a good point. Mm-hmm. And John, I don't like to dislike anything.
No, it's not.
I want to save my virulent hatred for one thing only, and that's of course modern Star Trek. So I want to love the next Uncharted.
Chris, you're seeing, number one, the financial results of this thing.
Yeah.
But also, the audience response too. 9 out of every 10 of the verified viewers coming out are saying they liked it. So how surprised are you about the financial one, about the crowd response, and what do you think this does for any potential of them actually getting an Uncharted 2?
I think they're absolutely going to do an Uncharted 2. I mean, that cutscene was them very, very proudly going, there's going to be another one.
Setting it up.
Yeah. And I, like I said before, I do think the second one promises more of what I expected. And I've gone into this, y'all, very, very clear that, I do have a chip on my shoulder about this. I wanted Nathan Fillion. I've played the games. I had this perspective. And I've tried really hard to kind of break myself away from that and view the movie for what it was. And that was great about talking to our viewer, Steven, because he wasn't a big gamer and he went, yeah, it's just kind of okay. So we kind of could talk about this as just its own action adventure. I'm really happy that people are enjoying it because, like y'all said, people enjoying movies, that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
And whatever critics say or whatever we say on this show, right? We're just bunch of people giving our own opinions. It's not scripture. So if y'all like
What?
it, except for what Rob says. Everything Rob says, though.
About Star Trek.
About
The
Star
Book of Rob.
No, because then if they did that, I
Robitudes.
wouldn't be in my own book for 2 episodes.
That's true.
That was good.
Well done.
Okay.
But
I would-
if people like it, good for them. And I'm glad that, Tom Holland is getting these numbers because Tom Holland works his little tookus off.
He really
He
does.
does.
Yeah.
He
Thank
does.
you to the word
He's-
took
Let's
us.
give it up for Tom, baby.
Tom
Tom
Mr.
Holland.
Moneybags.
Tom
Mr.
Holland.
Moneybag.
Big wins. Big wins.
Top
Now,
3.
today is also a day of vindication for one Ray Ora.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The justification.
Yeah.
The man. No, Ray, you see these numbers. You got to be happy with what you're seeing about the financial success and the fact that a lot of the audience liked it too.
I'm telling you, one of my big worries about this film was that he couldn't break out of the Spider-Man Peter Parker thing.
Right.
This kind of proves that he can. And I would not have watched this movie if he didn't lead. I mean, he wasn't like what I envisioned as Nathan Drake, but if that's him, then that's him. But yeah, I wouldn't have watched this movie if he wasn't the lead, and I'm glad it's doing well.
Are you
Also,
surprised though? Come on, you got to be. I mean, I know you like the movie. You got to be a little surprised by how well it's doing. though.
Well, most people like me watch the movie with their eyes and not their buttholes like you. So,
You keep saying this. How does one watch a movie with their butt?
I knew I would win.
I've been called a butthole viewer today. I've been called a boner by you today.
So, it's serious life lessons here from Ray. Do not watch movies with your buttholes. It will not go well.
I have to say, too, I'm a big Mark Wahlberg fan. And sometimes
Ever
Mark
since
Wahl-
The Departed, man.
sometimes and Boogie Nights all the way 25 years ago. Sometimes Mark Wahlberg is great and really well cast, and sometimes he's not. I still don't understand what happened in The Happening. I don't. But I thought he was kind of hit and miss in this movie. I liked him sometimes, I didn't like him others. But when he came out, I think it was on Jimmy Kimmel, he comes out rocking a stash, the Sully stash, and he was very funny about it. And he just seems like the kind of guy that I've never met him, but I like Mark Wahlberg, and I like to see when he's in a role. And we did see the trailer for Father Stu, which is his new movie based on a true story where he's kind of a screw up that later becomes a priest and then finds out he has physical problems. He looks terrific in that. So shout out to you, Mark Wahlberg.
No, I like Mark Wahlberg too. I will say though, in all the concern that a lot of people had about whether Tom Holland was a good fit to play Nathan Drake, I'm a believer. As much as I like Wahlberg, I didn't think he was a great fit to play Sully.
It was all over the place for me.
Yeah, I mean, to go back to that fan film. Now I know for you, it's about Nathan Fillion.
But also
Stephen Lang.
Stephen Lang. He's really great.
Stephen Lang would have been a great Sully because the age doesn't matter, right? And he can do all the physicality. Like just go watch what's the not like don't say a word. No, be quiet.
Oh yeah, but
shush.
don't breathe.
Don't breathe. Shut your mouth. Whatever it is. Yeah. Where Stephen Lang, a blind Stephen Lang, is going around killing folks. I mean, I think he probably would have made a better Sully, and I like Mark Wahlberg, but let's see how that evolves in the next one. Anyway, guys, the question is for you. We're seeing Uncharted having a lot more success than anybody thought, both at the box office and with the audience. How do you guys feel about that? Are you surprised? Did you have a chance to see the movie? What do you think? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. We want to take a minute and thank the sponsors of this video, Liquid IV. Now listen, just one stick of Liquid IV added to 16 ounces of water will hydrate you faster and more efficiently than just water alone. It contains 5 essential vitamins like B3, B5, B6, B12, and of course vitamin C with 3 times the electrolytes as traditional sports drinks. And what makes Liquid IV so effective is the science of cellular transport technology, or CTT. You see, it's designed to enhance rapid absorption of water and other key ingredients into your bloodstream faster and more efficiently. It tastes great, and it's a great thing to take when you feel run down, you need your daily hydration boost, or even a little bit of hangover recovery. Ann and I get up pretty early in the morning to go to the gym because we can't go to the gym at any other time during the day. And for the last couple of weeks, I have been drinking 1 full glass of water with Liquid IV, and all I can tell you is you can feel the difference during the workout. So go and grab Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco, or you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code CAMPEA at checkout. That's 25% off anything you order when you use the promo code CAMPEA, that's CAMPEA, at liquidiv.com. Experience better hydration today when you go to liquidiv.com, and remember, use the promo code at checkout, CAMPEA.